Coming up next on PlusTV, Plus News. Join our news team for half hour of local and national news. Plus News, informative, balanced, accurate, and current.
Hi, my name is Megan, and I'm a civil engineer here at M&M Engineering. Behind every successful production process in our factory come quality materials, skilled employees, and reliable equipment. Specifically, rebar and pre-stressing cable from Benny's, which are the building blocks of our products.
Not all rebar and steel are created equal. At Benny's, quality is savings because building with trusted materials means building stronger, safer, and longer.
Through Benny's Enterprises and Banquet, M&M Engineering has access to the highest quality products and heavy-duty machinery that help us improve efficiency, maintain productivity, and provide the most reliable solutions to our clients.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
In the headlines for tonight's newscast, PM decides to remain mum on the details behind Cabinet's rejection of BTL-SMART deal. Will the Prime Minister remove Mark Lizarraga as Chair of BTL? NTUCB Senator wants Whistleblowers Bill passed. And former pastor Victor Hernandez sentenced to 10 years for rape. Electricity goes up by 1.5 cents per kilowatts, and Belizean journalist receives inaugural Caribbean Defender of Media Freedom Award. These stories and more coming up next on Plus News. Stay tuned.
This newscast is brought to you through the courtesy of Builders Hardware, your home improvement warehouse.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I hear they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news and the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
Welcome to Plus News for today, Wednesday, August 19th. I am Nivea Ramos. Today, the Prime Minister made his first public appearance after it was announced that the Cabinet would not be in support of BTL's proposed acquisition of SpeedNet. According to the press release that was issued by the Cabinet regarding its verdict, the decision was based on a public sentiment that seemed to be against the proposed acquisition. When the Prime Minister was asked to elaborate on the reasoning behind the Cabinet's decision, he declined to disclose further details.
Well, I think you need to understand that whatever we discuss in Cabinet is confidential. But we felt that maybe at this time, and you always, and I know people say, oh, you said at this time, but simply I believe that Cabinet in its wisdom decided that maybe we should not proceed.
How did you go about consulting other cabinet members in the face of reports or suspicions that it was likely unilateral decision?
Again, this is a matter for the cabinet. I'm not free to discuss what I can tell you. I did not make the decision on my own.
We also got the opportunity to ask the Prime Minister for his thoughts on SpeedNet's press release that was issued late last week. One day after the Cabinet announced that they were not in support of the proposed acquisition, SpeedNet issued a press release that some, including the president of the NTUCB, viewed as a threat. When asked about the release, the PM said that he viewed the release differently than the NTUCB president.
How do you view the SpeedNet release in the wake of Cabinet's decision, seeing that others have seen it as a threat?
No, I don't think it was a threat. I think they were, if you really look at it and reading, you were congratulating the public. You want competition, so there will be competition. That's how I read it. I didn't see it as a threat.
Earlier this week, the joint unions held a press conference in Belize City where a list of demands and recommendations were made to the government. Chief among those lists of demands was the union's call for the immediate removal of Mark Lizarraga as BTL's chairman. According to the unions, Lizarraga has not acted in good faith as BTL's chair, and in doing so has lost the confidence of the Belizean public and should be removed. When asked if he'll consider the union's request to remove Lizarraga, the PM said he doesn't believe that Lizarraga did anything wrong.
But did they do anything wrong? They did not do, but again, I think you all are jumping ahead of your time. The board did not decide to buy SpeedNet at that moment. The board decided to do more due diligence to see whether it was feasible to be able to buy. A decision was not made at that time for the board to buy. And so I don't know. So what is it that they did wrong?
Well, there's this
can we have another question?
There's this general consensus that the chairman did not act in the best interest of the general public. At least that's what the unions are saying.
That is their view, and I don't agree with them.
Former president of NEAB and Pastor Victor Hernandez has been sentenced to 10 years in prison after being found guilty of rape and sexual assault. In 2021, Hernandez was charged with 2 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. According to the reports, a female congregant who had sought advice from Hernandez was raped once in 2015 and again in 2016. That same female congregant was sexually assaulted in 2021 by Hernandez. The sentencing was handed down by Justice Antoinette Moore of the High Court of Belize. And in other court matters, Police Constable Lionel Rodolfo Urbina appeared in the Belize City Magistrates Court on Wednesday in connection with the 2025 murder of 19-year-old American student Kevin Matthew DePaz in Kikaker. Urbina, who is currently on remand at the Belize Central Prison, was escorted to court number 3, unrepresented, and was provided with 145 pages of disclosure, including 7 DVDs. The matter was adjourned to October 21st, 2026, when Urbina's preliminary inquiry is scheduled to commence at the San Pedro Magistrates Court. He was further remanded to the Belize Central Prison until that date. Urbina was initially arraigned in January 2026 on charges of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 2 counts of use of deadly means of harm. The charges stem from an incident on June 30th, 2025 in Kikaker, where DePaz was fatally stabbed during an altercation. Police reported that 2 other men, Julian Canol and Nishan Allen, were also injured during the incident. According to police, Urbina and fellow officer Darnique Swayze were at a fast food establishment when an altercation involving DePaz and others began. The officers subsequently followed the group and confronted them, leading to a further confrontation in which DePaz was fatally wounded. Police said both officers were initially detained as investigations continued. However, following directives from the Director of Public Prosecutions, Urbina was charged with murder while Swayze was released. Effective immediately, Belize Electricity Limited is introducing a cost of power adjustment that will add 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour to customers' August 2026 electricity bills. The adjustment is a result of the Public Utilities Commission final decision for the 2026-2025 annual review proceeding. According to BEL, the actual cost of power over the past 6 months was 4.3 cents per kilowatt hour, higher than the reference cost approved by the PCU. COPA adjustments are to be reviewed monthly under a regulatory sandbox established by the PUC, and are capped at 1.5 events per kilowatt hour, either upward or downward. Moving forward, the monthly adjustment could increase, decrease, remain at zero, or result in a rebate depending on the actual cost of power and approval by the PUC. Any approved COPA adjustment will reflect as a separate line item on customers' bill. Customers that are currently benefiting from the social rate will be exempt from COPA adjustments. The modification will also be exempt from GST. In its release, BEL maintained that the change is intended to ensure it can continue meeting the cost of purchasing electricity while sustaining the financial stability needed to support Belize's energy security. We will be taking our first break for the evening and be back with more news. Stay tuned.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I hear they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the wins, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares, people who listen, people who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
SMART, bringing people together.
There have been a lot of questions about what the proposed broadcasting bill could mean for online content creators. So, here are answers to some of the most frequently asked questions. You create content online. You post videos, go live, work with brands, and maybe even get paid for advertising or sponsorships. But does getting paid for your content mean you now need a broadcasting license? The short answer is not automatically. There are specific requirements that determine whether you're considered a national online broadcaster under the proposed law. First, do you fall under the definition? You may be considered a national online broadcaster if all of these apply. 1. You control the broadcast. 2. You broadcast exclusively online. 3. Your broadcasts are mainly directed to Belize. And 4. Your advertising or sponsorship revenue comes predominantly from Belizean citizens. If all 4 apply, you may fall within the National Online Broadcaster category. So, if all 4 apply to me, does that mean I need a license? Not necessarily. If you fall within the category, the proposed framework provides for exemptions where the regulations allow. So, you may still qualify for an exemption. What determines an exemption? When developing exemption rules, the BBA will consider how much you earn or benefit, including revenue or other business benefits from your broadcasts. They will also consider how often you broadcast, including how frequently and how many broadcasts you make. Another factor is how big your audience is, based on your average or highest audience size. And they'll consider who can watch, including whether your broadcasts are open to the public in Belize or limited to a particular group. Other relevant public interest factors may also be considered. So here's the bottom line. Getting paid to create content does not automatically mean you need a license.
It's been a while, you know, they have been asking, and finally this year, because it's been like 5 years now, you know, they have been saying, you know, we need help. Because they would have asked me, I don't have the knowledge and I won't try to tell them what I don't know. I could just tell them, my dad used to be a farmer, so I would just know so much. But we need someone that has the knowledge and have studied these things. So that's how we came up with getting an agronomist to assist these farmers. They have asked for it. And the government of Belize, along with BNBC, have assisted us with getting a personnel from the country of Cuba to come and assist us. The agronomist plays an important role, of course, right? Because, you know, we are using different chemicals for weed control, and if you do not do the right dosage at the right time with the right weather, I have learned that from this agronomist, that you cannot just say, get up today and say, or call and say, we need the drone today, we need to spray. No, you know, the agronomist is trained to, or he studied these things, right? So we listen to him. His help has been, you know, very important to these farmers. The farmers, they have responded with his knowledge to them, helping them to you know, improve their quality, their techniques, you know, maybe what they were doing. With the help from him, it's a better way to do it. We try to be fair, and we also want all the farmers to be happy with, you know, the assistance we're giving them. Production won't increase like maybe this year. Gradually you will see it increase more and more each year. So we will need him, we will need his assistance.
When I install an AC system, I recommend Ream from Benny's. Unlike inferior units that drive up electricity costs, restrict yard flow, and wear out quickly, Ream has the right solution for every space. With a wide range of options, I can choose the right Ream system to keep every customer cool, comfortable, and satisfied. Because at Benny's, quality is saving.
Best for you and best for me. At Benny's, it's the quality. Benny's, quality and savings.
Glenfield Dennison, Senator for the NTUCB, says that enough time has passed and the Protected Disclosure Bill needs to be made into law. The Protected Disclosure Bill, also known as the Whistleblowers Act, was introduced in 2021, but since its introduction has been stuck in bill purgatory. The bill would create certain protections for public officers willing to call out and expose corruption in their ministries. Dennison says that he'd like to see the bill passed in the next 90 days.
There is a piece of legislation that is meant to protect people who are doing exactly what we need more of in Belize. blowing the whistle on corruption. Whistleblowers legislation is languishing, Paul, in the House of Representatives, my brother. Not the Osh. That's what we need for spot one light pan. Why is that piece of legislation languishing that dead, you know? So we have to resurrect it. Resurrect the Protected Disclosure Bill, because you see how then they victimize or want to victimize the people who they leak the screenshots from the mirror millions. That are where that did for protect. So make we get that out in the next 90 days. Are you ready for debate that the Senate? Senator Chino, are you ready for debate that in the Senate? Are you ready? So make we get the Whistleblowers Bill. No.
Also at the joint union's press conference was the Belize National Teachers Union. President Calles spoke on a myriad of issues, including the need for the Ministry of Education to establish a tribunal to hear cases of various teachers.
Ministry of Education, this is what will have us on the streets very shortly. The tribunal. The tribunal. We have been asking about the tribunal, and you have been giving us some very pretty answers, sweet answers, what I call comfort to a fool answers, and we have been acting like fools. Giving you the time to work out what we think you want to work out, but you don't want to say you need to work it out. No. You remember Mr. Jones, who was shot at the supermarket in San Pedro? He was accused of a crime, I will say, in education. But you are innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. He was found guilty and he appealed. He appealed over 2 years. I have been the president here for 2 years. And that case has been on appeal from around then. Mr. Jones was shot and killed. Still waiting to hear when his appeal will be heard. I have other teachers who have appealed, still waiting to hear when their appeal will be heard. I have teachers who have been charged by managements 18 months, 16 months, still waiting to hear. They're out here waiting. You see, justice delayed is justice denied. And we're already in a state where we're suffering. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. Some of my teachers are doing things that they should not do. And they need to be held accountable. So I don't want you to think that the union is condoning anybody. But let the system work. Put it in place. The tribunal, you're not got 90 days for that neither. So the BNP the extra 90 days. These teachers, their cases need to be heard. And it needs to be heard now. With that I say, if nothing changes, nothing changes. If nothing happens, nothing happens.
At the joint union's press conference held earlier this week, the president of the NTUCB, Nadia Calles, sent a strong message to the Auditor General of Belize, Maria Rodriguez. Earlier this week, the Auditor General made an appearance on a morning talk show and spoke about the difficulties her office has been experiencing after writing to various entities seeking assistance and clarification on certain matters. According to President Calles, the Auditor General has been writing to the wrong people.
This Ms. Rodriguez, I listen to you.
Maria?
Yes, I listen to Ms. Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez, you know, my late mentor would have said if he was alive, he would have been beating this table and saying directly to you, you take with a kunamuno, you take with a fools, you are writing the wrong persons. You're giving the Belizean public the impression that you're trying to solve the problem. You want to solve it, write the right persons. Because I don't like what you do. Should have tried something, nobody to work it, and should have write the wrong one. It's like her has slapped me in the face. And I want to charge him, but I'm not going to the police station. I'm going to Sister Ella, the NTUCB, make she charge her. Can she hold him accountable? No. Thank you, that's what she's doing. Miss Rodriguez, write the right person. If you don't know how to write, your educators will assist.
Nadia Khalid also sent a stern warning to the Ministry of Education, voicing disappointment in the reality that teachers are still being expected to pay for school supplies out of their own pockets. Khalid says that this September will be the last time that teachers will be using their own monies, as the government should be providing for such situations.
So my teachers, I want to say this to you out there today. We understand, or as your leader, I understand, the council understands the fact that we have to and we will go after our resource allowance. This, and if you don't know what is the resource allowance, in St. Lucia, in Grenada, I was so proud of my brother from Grenada when he shared at the last Caribbean Union of Teachers executive meeting how the government has decided that every August they are going to give their teachers a particular grant to assist them with the acquisition of school resources. These two, and in Belize we have been asking for this over and over again. Over and over and over again we have been asking for the same thing. They have listened, but did they truly hear us? They have listened, but are you really listening? This is the last September, and I'm saying this, the last September 2026 will be the last time our educators will be going into their pockets to provide these resources. August, back in the day, we enjoyed our July and August. Today, it's July, or part of July, and August we're on call, workshops, and all of these things.
Earlier today, the government of Belize, the Turneffe Atoll Sustainability Association, the Turneffe Atoll Trust, and the University of Belize reaffirmed their commitment to conservation through the official signing of a trust deed for land at the Turneffe Atoll Marine Reserve. The agreement includes a $2.2 million investment for a research facility at Turneffe Atoll for the University of Belize, with hopes of developing what Prime Minister John Briceño described as a world-class marine research facility.
As we pointed out earlier, this is not just a regular official signing ceremony, but this is legacy building, where the government has partnered with TASA and the Turneffe Atoll Trust to be able to find a way how we can protect these 17,000 acres of mangrove forest in Turneffe, and to be able to protect it in perpetuity. And so when we got into government, this was already signed by the previous government, but in their haste, there were certain legal issues that we needed to correct. And I want to really thank Dr. Craig Hayes for not giving up, and to be able to sit down with us and to find how we can make changes and to improve on it, but never lose sight of what it's all about. Is about conservation. But at the same time, thanks to Dr. Hayes, they made a deposit on the land. I think it's about $2.2 million. And since it has been removed from the original trust fund to another trust that is being managed and owned by Belizeans, in the discussions, and they came up with the idea of what, instead of them getting a check or a refund, to use that money to be able to help the University of Belize to set up a marine research facility in the area. So it's a win-win, and it's really, really exciting.
TASA Executive Director Valdemar Andrade explained how the signing can positively impact conservation and help ensure the ecosystem continues providing economic, social, and food security benefits.
This secures a vast amount of mangroves that is a critical part of the whole ecosystem dynamics between mangrove, seagrass, and the coral reefs to produce that. And so as we protect these lands in perpetuity, you can look at what other benefits there are. Currently in the market, in terms of the world market, you're looking at biodiversity credits, you're looking at blue carbon credits, you're looking at how can you, beyond what it produces economically for the government, the fishers, the tourism stakeholders, and us in terms of recreational value, can also produce a market value in terms of blue carbon credits and biodiversity credits into the future. The critical difference from the last one to now is that the land trust belongs to the government and people of Belize at the end of the day. And the importance also is that it's protecting flats fishery areas, right? Now, flats fishery areas, I've seen many local Belizeans now who are ex-fishers or who have been trained in flats fishery earning a significant wage in a flats fishery industry at the end of the day. It is very important that people understand that, while in 2022, when we did that study, or when the Turner Fatal Trust did that study, it said that flats fishery was 6.7% of GDP. Today, it probably is 10% of GDP. You're talking about $240 million, so it's comparable to the fishing industry at the end of the day. And those are the type of jobs that you want Belizeans to have, because now you're earning a living wage, right? You can earn anything from, let's say, $300 a day to $1,000 a day at the end of the day. So protection can yield benefits in terms of those economic values to people of Belize. And we have to start preparing the next generation of fly fishers across the country and in Turnef as well. I sit on the University of Belize board, and it is an important investment in the future researchers of Belize. Now, why is that important? In management, we make management interventions based on science. So it is only when we have the science information from monitoring and research that we can say, okay, only so much fishers should be in this area, or only so much visitors can come to this area, or this is the amount of conch and lobster you should be taking out of the area. So science is important to the management of the area.
We will be taking our last break for the evening and be back with more news. Stay tuned.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
Before our grid reached across Belize, it was built by generations of Belizeans committed to connecting communities and powering progress. Through the hands, the dedication, and the vision of our people, the grid grew with Belize. A nation built through strength and resilience, and a network built pole by pole. Today, that responsibility continues, strengthened by every hand that follows. Each generation building on the last and carrying forward a shared responsibility, serving communities, powering schools, hospitals, businesses, and homes, supporting a nation that continues to grow. Belize Electricity Limited, built to serve, serving Belize.
Welcome to the William David Fonseca Parking Facility, your modern solution for safe and convenient parking in downtown Belize City. With easy payment options such as prepaid cards or coins, parking downtown has never been easier. Enjoy affordable rates as low as 75 cents for 15 minutes, $1.50 for 30 minutes, and $3 for an hour. Open and available 24/7. Park smart. Park safe. Park at the William David Fonseca Parking Facility. Modern, secure, convenient. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Here's how to be a part of Benny's Homecation in 3 easy steps. First, download the BBucks app and sign up to be eligible. It's fast and easy. Then, shop at any Benny's location or Benny's entity. Remember to choose products from our monthly Homecation jackpot categories to earn entries. Now you can earn B-Bucks with purchases made and be a part of the Benny's Homecation jackpot for a chance to win the $10,000 grand prize in December. Win the ultimate Homecation with Benny's, quality and savings.
On August 18, 2026, Belizean journalist Jules Vasquez received the first ever Caribbean Defender of Media Freedom Award during the opening ceremony of the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 57th Annual General Assembly in Georgetown, Guyana. The CUB Assembly brings together member associations to discuss issues affecting the media industry in the Caribbean and the wider region. The Assembly also recognizes excellence in television, radio, digital, and print journalism through the CUB Caribbean Media Awards Gala. Vasquez was among 3 nominees up for the inaugural award. The recognition comes as Vasquez continues to stand as the news director at Channel 7. Following his award presentation, Vasquez delivered remarks on the importance of protecting media and journalistic freedom in the region.
How I got here to this esteemed podium, I will never know. I will only say, never underestimate the motivating energy of self-loathing and imposter syndrome. Especially when I am at these events among these gilded exemplars of excellence in our profession. I mean, you hear her voice. I recall the great singer, Leonard Cohen. He said, "I was born like this. I had no choice. I was born with the gift of a golden voice." Well, I was born with a stutter and a face and a figure that my mother might say is best suited for radio. But I am still here. While I did not have Cohen's golden voice, I was born with the gift of a certain determination and audacity. Some would say an outrageousness. And while certainly not fearless, I have an ability to disregard fear, to somehow think myself invulnerable, an affinity to face down danger in the pursuit of the greater good that the public needs to know and understand the society they live in. And that brings us to the role of the defender of media freedom. Why does it matter? Why must we champion those who play that role? It matters because news is a public utility, just as important as water or electricity. A modern democratic society cannot survive without it. We provide the oxygen that makes democracy breathe. Those who define and defend that space, to our colleagues, I say respect, but we need to do more, much more.
The University of Belize's Jaguar Tech Studio has reached a new advancement in its robotics and technology initiative with the donation of a VEX V5 classroom super robotics kit by the Ministry of E-Governance. The VEX V5 Super Kit is a comprehensive education robotics platform featuring more than 1,500 components. The kit includes a robot brain, controller, smart motors, rechargeable battery, and charger sensors, along with a wide array of structural and mechanical parts. The new asset is expected to enhance the university's Jaguar Tech Studio, as the students will be able to move beyond theoretical concepts and gain valuable hands-on experience in designing, building, programming, testing, and refining robotics systems. The Ministry of E-Governance says it also plans to donate similar robotics kits to other organizations and educational institutions across the country to expand access to emerging technologies while creating more opportunities for Belizeans to develop the digital and technical skills needed for the future. And that is the news. Thank you for joining all of us here at Plus TV. Good night and God bless. I am Nevia Ramos.